If you're just joining us, this is the panelist session for finances, and we want to get to know and ask very vital questions. But just before we ask any questions, we'd like to know what you studied in school. Is that what you're currently doing? Did you major in what you're currently doing? I'd like to know from each and every one of us. But let's know Mr. Baridaka first. Let's know you. I think apart from you, every other person has spoken. I think they know them. So let's know you, sir. Then you can tell us what you're studying, what you're currently doing. Is it what you studied in school?
Amen. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Oh. Okay, my name is Bright Baridaka. I lead operations and administration at Empire Nigeria Limited. That's my boss, African Landlord. I also run a consulting firm called Brimas Consulting. We've been running the business since 2020. We used to focus on branding, management consulting, strategy.
I thought you guys would clap for.
And so that's basically all there is to me.
All right.
I also run a small community that I'm trying to build. It's called the Growth Tribe. It's basically for young people like myself. I'm way very young. I'm young.
Yes, that's the CEO.
So,
Growth Tribe.
people like myself that are looking to build impact, build wealth, and within a.
My name is
Mr. Andy, don't do this. Don't do this.
I'm on the panel, so yeah, I like to introduce myself.
All right,
My
okay.
name is Andy Umana, and I'm saying it this way so that it does what sticks, right? My name is Andy Umana, and I'm the MD and CEO of Rosify. Essentially, Rosify is a real estate tokenization platform. So what we do is reduce the barrier to entry for real estate investing. That is allowing anybody and everybody, right, invest in real estate with little as 50,000. If you go out there, you see we have an ad there, we have a stand there that says that invest in Banana Island with as little as 50,000, right? Again, what we are projecting, the narrative we are trying to change is that as a collective, we can be wealthy. You can start exactly where you are and build your wealth from ground to the top using real estate. My name again is Andy Umana. And I'm saying it again because I wanted to do what? Because my intention at the end of this conference is to have done what? Move you from where? Point A to point B. B being a better place. Thank you so much.
The question of are you currently working as what you studied?
Oh, so I went to the University of Ilorin. I've done my MBA in the University of Imo State University, and I'm nowhere in sight of what I'm doing. But that does not say that I won't get to what I studied, right? I'm doing real estate, and because of my knowledge in geology and all that, and that is the reason why I'm trying a lot of things to infuse sustainability as a thing into whatever project we are doing. We have a couple projects across Nigeria, and whatever we'll be doing, the knowledge that I had from studying geology would be passed into those projects because, again, I went to school for 5 years and it wasn't for nothing. It might just be to have shaped me or to have given me a relationship that I have right here and all that, right? But yeah, it's going to definitely show in who I become. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Charles. So, okay, let's hear Mr. Baridaka first. Yes, I think he didn't answer the question of yes what you're currently doing. Is that what you studied in school?
I studied microbiology.
Wow.
I studied microbiology. That's my BSc. I am currently starting my MBA in finance. So yes, maybe what I studied. But then basically the truth is that education is not necessarily supposed to be what you study is not necessarily supposed to be where you stick for life.
Sure.
It's necessary just to create a platform for how you jump to where you're supposed to be. So I heard somebody say that he employs first class just because he's able to see their work ethics. For you to get in first class, you're working hard. So yes, maybe I'm not practicing what I studied, but then the knowledge and the background or the experiences I had from being in River State University where they will point you gun. I was pointed the gun several times. Build something in me.
Oh, RSU.
Yes.
RSU students, are you seeing your alumni?
Right.
All right, so Mr. Charles.
All right. Hello. Okay. All right. Once again, my name is Charles. Well, Like I said, I'm a serial entrepreneur. I didn't study business, but I, in my company as a CEO, I still do like system architecture, which is still related to computer science, right? Yeah, so I have that slide divide. But then I run a food processing company, and I had no idea about how to bake a dime, right? I just got the right competence. I understand the economic of scale. I'm doing it. So I run a fintech arm of a bank. Yeah, I don't have a background in banks.
Okay, so this question, I think a lot of people would really relate to it. This is for you, Mr. Charles. Now, many young people say, I don't have much capital, enough money to start a business with, okay? Now, realistic, to you, how can someone begin their wealth building journey with little capital?
All right. Capital is an illusion, right? Money is an illusion. There's a book on how to print money. Okay. If you think the money you pass from one place to the other is the real money, then you're already trapped. Okay. So if money is not the paper that you exchange, then what is money? Money is the flow of value, and value is based on needs. The greater the needs, the more value will be placed on needs. That's why you don't go to hospital and price Panadol. You know what I'm saying? Because from there, cross go heaven. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. The higher the need quotient, the more the value. So to answer the question directly, is if you don't have enough skill, or you are not in an industry where you can immediately trade or have capital to start a business, you are not supposed to be talking about anything in that regard. Guess what you're supposed to be? You're supposed to be a plug, right? I saw this wonderful woman that said that I don't know whether she's married, but respectfully, a lady said she's a plug. And what's a plug, right? Do you know that there are some people you call? Each time you call them, please, I need something. They always have a contact. You can start from there, right? It's called Jama Jama. Eh? And you can be an expert of curating contacts. Do you know that someone, when you go back home, someone needs something that someone here actually have, but you don't know, right? Connect with them. Collect contact. What do you do? Real estate, put them. What do you do? Furniture, put them, right? And as people express their need to become a tax collector, I'm a tax collector. I process payment. For every payment that happens, I take an average of it, 1%, 1.5%, depending on what happens. I'm a tax collector. But guess what? I don't need to be in the industry. I don't need to do the business of this and that. But in as much as you're moving money across border, I they drop your money, right? so, so you have to also be someone like that. You don't have capital. Guess what? Growing up, when I was building my business career, always turn your customer to your friend, because that's how you upgrade from your poverty to next grade. Because the chances that people that will give you job are richer than you always 100% higher. So people who give you job are richer than you. Be sensible enough to give them value so that they become your friend. Guess what? Once they become your friend, they no longer give you job because you are competent. They give you job because it is sentimental. Just the way he called me here out of sentiment. You get what I'm saying? Even though say I did drop code.
Okay, so over the years, I think a lot of us, or I won't say us because I'm not part, so a lot of people have been victims of Ponzi scheme. I think a lot of people have currently relate to it. And there was one recently which people lost a whole lot of money. So I would like to know from you, what is your take?
CBEX.
Yes, exactly. What is your take on Ponzi scheme?
So it is quite unfortunate. So there is no fast way to make money. The only fastest way is slow and steady. I don't know if you get it. So of course a lot of people are making attempts to invest, right? But the red flags are always there. And I understand that people are trying to make ends meet. And people only spend money to the degree they understand on how to survive. I don't know if you get it. A lot of people want to make money, but a lot of people have less understanding on how to spend money. You need to take a course on how to spend money. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. Because we think that because we are human beings, we can work. No, right? There are people who professionally work. That's why they pay them for working. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. So when you are making money, you need to learn how to what? How to spend money. And that comes with the knowledge. Also, being around people that are ahead of you, also align that part, how to spend money, but stay reflection. Because we are a copycat, right? We are a mirror, we reflect what is in our environment. So when people are looking for fast ways to make money, they will always be, what's it called? Yeah. So I will not advise you to do that. If the least way I would advise you to make money, if you don't have any skill, even if you have a skill, it's not paying you enough money to pay the bills, and your bills is still greater than your income.
Okay.
Be a plug. Jama,
Okay,
jama.
so this is a follow-up for Mr. Umana. To you, with the world becoming more digital, how can African investors participate in global opportunities and also without falling into schemes, scams and all this?
Again, one of the most important things I tell people when I speak to Africans is that whatever product you're building, whatever business you're doing, your biggest competition is poverty, it's hunger. There are some things you don't tell an hungry man. Even Jesus in the Bible understood that. That's why before he preached to 5,000 people, he did what? He fed them. Right? So as Africans, again, I'm in the real estate space. Most of the time when we talk about real estate, everything you talk about real estate is about what? Investing. But someone that is not making as much money to do what? To even keep body and soul together. What are you thinking of investing? Like, think about it. And these are the problems. You're not making enough money. Again, Englishman will always tell you something about passive income, active income, quotes and quotes and quotes and quotes, right? But it's just simple. You have to eat before you think of doing what? Investing. So as Africans, rather than just, again, and this comes from a place of the bad relationship that we naturally do have what? With money. Somebody that doesn't understand that the principles of money is 80-20, this, that. Whenever they make any money, you see them buy a land, and after they buy the land, they will sell the land back. To do what? To eat. Again, my name is Andy Umana, and I want it to stick. Because at the end of this conference, you would have had a better relationship with money. Because if you have a good relationship with money as an African man, you will know that there are some businesses that you can't do in Port Harcourt, but you can do them in Lagos. If you will know that some businesses that you can't do in Lagos, but you can do them where? In Port Harcourt. Again, this is your relationship with money. My name is Andy Umana, and I want to do what? Because at the end of this conference, you would have been moved from where? B being a what? Thank you.
All right. Still on Mr. Andy. This is a very hilarious question, though. I find it very hilarious. It said, I have just 4 plots of land in my house, in my hometown, Abia State. Please, can I use it to take loan from Lapo?
Yes, I think actually, right? So again, at some point last year, I raised capital to like do debt financing. So I give out loans in my company, right? If you have a good title on that property, there's no bank in Nigeria that will not give you a loan on that property. So a lot of people are investing without even having a proper understanding of what they are doing, what investing in. So your understanding of that product, real estate, the land, right, can be all you need. Another thing that I will tell people, rather than buy a land in your village, right, and just leave it there fallow, you can and most banks will, because you hardly get titles in those places. Who wants to do a title in your village? What concerns me? Right? What's the economic value that is driving value to that land? There's literally nothing, right? You can use it to start making passive income. You can plant plantain, which is why most of my product, what I do is I do a passive income kind of investment. I plant plantain, there's cassava. So every year on year, you make money from owning a piece of a land. I'm sure that a lot of people have land here, but the land that they have is just bush. After you have left this conference, think of how to make that land that you have an income generating what? Asset. That's when you become a what? A smart investor. If not, you're just investing for the sake of doing what? And that makes you not a real investor. Thank you so much. My name again is what? And I wanted to do what?
Okay, so Mr. Bright, I have a question for you. Do you think banks are actually moving fast enough to support this new money era? Or do you think fintechs are taking over because traditional banks are too slow?
Okay. First is that banks are slow. Yes, I can say that. Let's put it at a very simple level. The other we went to the bank to have a conversation, and I was talking to a banker, and I asked her if we want to invest money with the bank, what's the return that we can get within a year? And what she told me was somewhere within 15 to 20%. If you invest that money with Resify or with Empire, Empire will give you 45% in 1 year. That's a fact. And so if I am going to make money, if I'm going to liquidate my cash or make as much cash as I need to take advantage of this economy, do I want to invest with a bank that doesn't give me as much leverage as I want? That's the question here. That's why I think banks are slow. That is one. Secondly, is that beyond just the fact that banks only give you low returns on your money, they don't give you the kind of leverage to play around as you want. Banks need your money to survive. So they would always want to hold your money back. They will always want you to keep your money with them. With other investment vehicles, with technology that is coming up, you do not want to keep your money tied down in the bank. You're going to become the investor that you want to be. If you're going to become the big guy you want to be, you don't want to keep your money tied down in the bank, because basically, how much is savings? Savings is 5%, right? Treasury bills is 15 to 20%, right? Fixed deposit is at most, depending on the amount you're putting in, 15%. That is limiting. But with real estate, you have more. With stocks, you have more. With startups, fintechs, you have more, right? Because there's flexibility there. I think the banks are slow. Personally,
I would like to add something to this, right? Because again, I sit on the board of a bank, right? And I would like that when everybody is done, they find a way to register with Loma Bank, right? The problem that banks have, I beg to differ that banks are really slow in Nigeria, right? Because in my own perspective, there is a shortage of data, right? That's why a lot of people don't have access to credit. Think about it. Like, what is the access that we actually do have to credit as Nigerians? Right? But yeah, shocker. The new government, as much as a lot of people hate this government because of the way they came in, right? They are putting a lot of policies and implementing a lot of stuff, like the open banking infrastructure that they just implemented, to allow everybody access to credit. So you see, Nigeria is becoming better. But a lot of people don't even know that Nigeria is becoming better because they are even blinded to see the policies that are being set in place. The reason why an average Nigerian bank sits on 90% of their capital. Why? Why would they not give you that money? In America, as compared to like America, they sit on like 30% of their capital. Why? Because they have access to your data. They know that if I give you money, you're not running away with your money. There's no way you will run to that I will not be able to do what? Get back the money. So Nigeria is becoming better as Nigeria is moving fast. As much as Nigeria's policies are changing, as much as the economy is moving fast, we as a people need to also move as fast. Again, there's something that this government just really recently introduced. It's called MRIF. A lot of people don't even know about this. There's now credit facility for people to own homes with as little as 20% down payment on the house. People don't have access to this information because why? They are not studying or they don't even have the knowledge enough. And that's why a conference like this is where we come and we tell you that these things, Nigerian banks are not necessarily slow. At the end of the day, it's just lack of data. And as we are trying as a country to build the infrastructure, which is why we have conferences like this to teach both we in the private sector and in the public sector, that we need to aggregate enough data to be able to give people access to credit. That is only when we can say that banks are not doing what they ought to do. You get what I'm trying to say? And again, with the investing thing with a bank, buying T-bills, bonds, and all that, you need to know your relationship with money. You need to know where you are with investing. There are some people that should not be investing in real estate because what you first want with your capital, what is more important than return on investment of your capital is what? Security of your capital. What are the chances of a Nigerian bank defaulting on our T-bills? What are the possibilities of me and you defaulting on our loans that we get from people to run our business?
I understand that perspective. But then at the same time, for anybody that's probably at a very low range with their finances, they still do not even need to invest in T-bills. They can still get the best from T-bills because it's basically volume, right? So I think that for people at that phase, most times it's even fintech that favor them more, right? Yes, I think that for people like that, it's even fintechs that favor them more. Basically because, okay, so we have things like carry rise. With carry rise, you get better interest on your savings than you would. I think so. I'm not very sure and certain on your savings that you would with a conventional bank, like maybe Zenith Bank, maybe UBA Bank, right? So because these things, that's one. Secondly, the flexibility of having to do savings with these other systems exist. You can easily just register an account and you're already saving your money. You're already making money, right? As against what you would get with a conventional bank. That's one reason why I think that while, like you said, banks have policies that are beginning to put them on the limelight, they are quite slow to the party, right? And I think that they can do better, right? With this knowledge and every other thing, they can do better.
So I think I would like to create a dichotomy between, so life is about context. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. Just the way Andy said. The concept of investment is necessary because there is excess. If you never chop, the only investment you can do is your brain. If your brain is empty, both your body and your belly will not function properly, right? And sometimes the best investment you can do after you have feed your brain, your body, you clothe yourself properly, look good, so that you can have a good reputation capital, right? Now, right. So once you have gotten to a place where you start having excess, I mean, your expenses in a month is 200,000, your revenue in a month is 500,000. Now that is what? 300,000. Then you can start considering. Then another thing you also need to consider crisis management. Always have money for crisis. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. Invested in your brain, your body, and all of that, you have excess. Invest in your crisis capital. Okay, something happened. Some people are just one sickness away to poverty, back to gross poverty. Get just one small sickness. I don't know if you can. So once you have done that, right, and you start having those sectors, then you can now start doing a divided portfolio called divestment, right? So where you can do parts of what it's saying for securitization,
Yes.
and do a bit of risking. You understand?
Okay.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, sir. I think one last, I just want a sentence from each and every one of you, just to make somebody who has come for the money conference a financial literate. Just a sentence that you're leaving for a person that is struggling, that wants to be a financial literate. Just one last word for you, from all of you.
So I think this word has been on my mind: push and pull. For a lot of us, we make decisions from the point of our push. What are our push? Our needs, our problems. And it has affected how we handle our finances. We make decisions based on our push. You should make decisions based on your pull. So if you're able to find a balance between what pushes you and what pulls you, which is your pull is basically your goals, it will help you find the right financial decision that you can make. That's what prepare you to achieving the kind of result you're looking for in today's world.
All right. What I would say is you need to find a way to build a very good relationship with pain. Amen. Okay? Pain. If you go to the gym, the more you can bear pain, the more you buck up. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. Right? And the same thing with life. Okay? How far you are going to grow in life is your pain. You need to ask Andy how much of money he has lost. You get what I'm saying? So it's a little bit faint, right? But your relationship with pain, embracing pain, not as a negative integer, but as part of positive factor to life. Very, very key. And it's a long way. Because you are going to who will disappoint you. Just people who are good, right? But pain should not be your turning back. Pain should be the carpet.
Yeah, to wrap up the conversation, I have three things that I wrote out. Like, to make money, you need audacity. And when I say audacity, audacity is the only thing that can make you walk up to anybody here today and tell them like, hey, this is what I do. You should pay me this amount of money for what I do because I deserve this value. Right? To manage money, you need humility. Because it's easy to make money. Managing money needs a lot of humility. You have to be humble enough to know that, hey, I'm not the guy that needs the Lamborghini yet. Even though I have the money, I need to be able to make 5 times the money that I have for the Lamborghini to be able to afford one Lamborghini. Right? And the third thing, to multiply money, you have to be a guy that is trusted. It takes me back to the conversations about the bank. The reason why I will go to a bank to give them my money, the reason why I will go to some people that I know, some businesses that I know to give them my money to you, because I have an element of trust on the system they've built around their money. So to multiply money, after you've built a system to make the money, you've built a system to manage it, to multiply and get access to more capital, you need to build trust around yourself. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Please, a round of applause for each and every one of them. Thank you very much. We really, really appreciate you. Thank you.